Today is not a single, not a double, but a triple unboxing, as Fifine has sent over 3 of the AmpliGame H series headsets to see which one is truly the best budget option. Obviously, we have to start off with the H6 right here, given how we're going via the numbering. I mean, packaging wise, it is pretty much nothing too interesting, especially for a budget headset. You get the headset itself, and that's it. Well, okay, you also get this little detachable mic right here. Apart from that and some instructions, well, that's literally it. It is fairly lightweight, and when it comes to the actual fit itself, I mean, again, they are so light that you can barely feel them at all. But also, like the headband itself, it doesn't feel like too tight or anything. You can also adjust them as well. And one more thing to note is that it ends in a USB Type-A port rather than your usual mic and headphone jacks. That can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what I/O you have to spare in your system and what you want to connect it to. The reason for this is because these headsets actually support virtual surround sound, and that requires a USB Type-A port. Now, what some companies do is that they include a special dongle at the end, so the cable normally terminates in a regular combo audio jack, and then you can just connect this USB dongle if you want to have the spatial audio. Here, they did not do it, which gives you a bit less versatility, but again, there's only so much they can do at that price. What you do get instead, however, is RGB, because of course. Now, when it comes to the overall sound quality, unfortunately, we don't have too many specs for them, like they're just not available. However, on the website, we can see that the frequency response for all of these headsets ranges from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. So on the high end especially, it is going to suffer, but once again, for a budget headset, it's probably going to be more than enough for most of you, and just for kind of your regular gaming. These aren't going to be the headphones for you if you really love to listen to music. Pretty much the last thing to mention is this right here, your controls. So obviously you have your volume, you have this special button right here to enable virtual surround sound. Now the thing is that on here, you don't see any kind of labeling, which is on and which is off. But here on the mic itself, you do have a light which tells you if you are muted or not. That's an interesting way of doing it, especially when you're just kind of wearing it like this. The problem is that you won't really see the light, right? You kind of have to turn it like this way, then you see that you're muted. I kind of wish that the controls and labeling, or just move this light itself to the control panel. That would make it so much simpler. But anyway, on to the next headset. Now, despite the number 9 being bigger than the number 6, this is actually a cheaper headset, costing a few dollars less than the H6. When it comes to the overall specs, however, it is pretty much the same, at least again from the specs that are being provided to us. So what exactly are the differences then? Well, let's look into it. Obviously, the main thing that stands out is just the design of the headset itself. As you can see, there is no RGB on here, so if you don't care about it or you just want to go for that cleaner, minimalist look, then these are the ones to go for. But you still have that kind of smiley face, which is just the logo they put on everything, which, I mean, come on, especially in these terrible, terrible times we find ourselves in, it just makes you smile whenever you look at one of the products and makes you forget everything that's going on in the world. You also have this box right here, which gives you the thing I was really hoping for in the H6. Would you look at that? This one actually ends in an audio jack. That is because you get this separate cable, which has your control panel that then terminates in USB-A, which you connect to your PC. So this is exactly what I was hoping for in the H6. You get it in this one, and again, it's cheaper. So this is pretty much the better headset already, just because it gives you that versatility. If you don't want the virtual surround sound, then you don't need to use that USB-A, and you can just plug this in directly to your system. If you do want to use virtual surround sound and this control panel, it also comes with some bonuses, like for example, this clip right here, so you can, I don't know, just attach it to your shirt or something or whatever, but also you have clear mic and headphone volume options right here, as well as clearly labeled mic on and mic off. So you don't have that weird light on the mic itself that you can't even see. It's all done on here, which again, how is this a cheaper product? I don't know, because it's pretty much superior in every single way. Well, okay, maybe apart from the sound quality, where it's still pretty much on par. When it comes to actually wearing this thing, however, it does feel a bit less comfortable, or rather like it's just kind of, I don't know, a bit too small. And when I lift the ear cups down, it just kind of descends down rather than clamping closer to my head. So it kind of feels like both the cups are being kind of lifted away from my ears. It's not as much of a kind of tight fit as with the other ones right here. because they sat a lot more naturally. My hair is gonna be such a mess after this video after taking off headphones so many times. Finally, there's the H13 right here, and right off the bat, it is packaged much nicer than the other two, given how it actually comes in this bag right here. So bonus points for the extra packaging, but also minus points because this appears just to be a very simple, non-reusable, non-recyclable, very eco-unfriendly bag. The ear cups got a major upgrade, as you can see, when it comes to the shape. They're closer to the H9s, but they have that kind of RGB and a kind of basically circle of LEDs around the face like on the H6s. But they also come with just this entire thing of acrylic on both sides. As long as it doesn't scratch, it should give a pretty nice effect. And when it comes to the actual comfort, again, I like it, but they do feel like the ear cups just kind of lift away from your ears just slightly. I did not have an issue on the H6, but definitely the most on the H9 and the kind of in-betweeny on this one. Comfort-wise, it is still fairly comfortable, though also it is a bit heavier than this other two. So if you're very sensitive when it comes to the weight of the headset, like myself, then that's just something to keep in mind. Unfortunately, despite this being by far the most expensive headset of the three, we are back to the same design when it comes to the actual cable. It is literally just this control panel, and then it goes into USB Type A. You can't disconnect anything here and just get a regular audio jack out. No, you are stuck with USB Type A, whether you like it or not. But at least the control hub here itself is closer in spirit to the one we saw with the H9. So you have the much clearer controls on the sides. Actually, everything is labeled, and also you still have that same 7.1 button here, plus also 3 different preset EQ modes, either for music, for gaming, and for movies. However, when it comes to actual music, like, again, it's not anything mind-blowing, but it is very much tolerable. And this is just on the music EQ. If I go to the gaming EQ for music, because I'm a madman like that, then honestly, it almost sounds kind of better because it feels like it ups the bass a bit there, and I prefer my music a bit more bassy. And if I switch to the film one, then that's probably the best one because it also kind of lifts the treble, I believe. So between the three, for music, I would actually choose not the music one, but film, because that actually sounds the best, at least to me. Though of course you can just ditch the built-in EQ and do it yourself with something like Peace and Apo, and you don't have to worry about the built-in settings. If you're not into doing your own EQ, however, then this is just a decent way of getting started without being too overwhelmed by all of the choices. So obviously, overall design-wise, these ones right here are the winners. Not only do they have the kind of nicest looking ear cups, unless you just go for that pure minimalism look of the H9, but they also have this purple cable and this purple trim right here, which, as you know, I'm kind of a fan of the color. So it's almost like this was made precisely for me. Audio quality wise, they are pretty much all on the same level. Maybe the H13 is slightly nicer, but also it's going to depend on the exact fit of the headset itself. Though probably the biggest winner is just the H9, given how maybe if it suffers a bit in comfort, it has the best flexibility when it comes to how you connect it up to your PC, how you actually control it, and in most ways it just feels a lot better than the slightly more expensive H6. Now let's compare what exactly the difference is when it comes to the microphones. So this right here is the one on the H6 model. And what you're hearing right here is what the mic on the H9 headset sounds like. And this right here is what the H13 mic sounds like. Now, this one also has an additional ace up its sleeve, because it also has this special noise cancelling mode, as you can hear right here. Is it worth it or not? Well, you let me know. So now you know exactly which Fifine headset you should get depending on what your priorities are. So if you want to get them yourself, then our links to them are going to be down in the video description below, alongside a Patreon, because even a single $1 a month truly goes a long way. Plus huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Justin Rage, Eli Roniak, Bartosz Volker, Noah Pseudonym, Meg Sumner, Shane Allcroft, and Mason Magruder. But anyway, that's what it's. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all whenever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.